This reading is from Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda. This week is the mystery of Avatara, or divine incarnation. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. The Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter states, as we saw last week, O Bharata, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth. Taking visible form, I come to destroy evil and re-establish virtue. What is the mystery of this divine manifestation? Great avatars such as Krishna and Jesus Christ are born as babies, even as we all are. They take human form and go through normal human experiences as they grow from childhood to adulthood. They eat, they play, they may seem to suffer sickness and disappointment like the rest of us. In what way are they different from other human beings? The important thing to understand is that, even as they are like us, so are we also like them. Their realization can be ours too. They come on earth to show us our divine potential. The difference lies not in the manner of their manifestation on earth, but in the consciousness with which they are born. All things are condensations, so to speak, of the cosmic vibration, Om, described by St. John's Gospel as the Word. Most human beings, however, are unconscious of their divine origin. The avatars, on the other hand, come consciously as manifestations of that divine reality. As the Gospel says in the 1st chapter, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I don't know about you, but it seemed to me that the reading and the affirmation this morning were pretty perfect for the times, for the moment. You know, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth. Again, I reincarnate on earth. Thank God. The great ones come to show us who and what we really are and sort of help to guide us out of this mess we get ourselves into. And then the affirmation today was on sharing. And I want to read the one line because it says it perfectly. Sharing is the doorway through which the soul escapes the prison of self-preoccupation. It is one of the clearest paths to God. Oh my gosh, sharing, imagine that. Not walls, not bans on peoples and nations, but sharing is one of the clearest paths to God. Here it is. It's right in front of us. And you know, there's hope. There is truly hope. We have to look at it that way. Every week in the Festival of Light, we say, "They're abundant now is our hope." Because the great ones come to not only show us who and what we really are, but to give us the tools to experience that for ourselves And wherever there's, what does it say in the Bible somewhere? I'm not that adept with the Bible. Not, in my non-religious Jewish upbringing, I never really got much exposure to it. But there's something about find one virtuous soul in a city and it will be saved, essentially. To paraphrase, we have to work on the inside to bring in that light. And what gives me hope also is that there are millions of people standing up and making some noise about all of this. And what gives me even higher hope is that the millennials are taking the lead in that. And when we used to have conversations with our daughter about compassion and tolerance and these kinds of things, I just found it interesting because in her generation, they don't even think of it in terms of tolerance. They don't see the difference. It's not even there. It's not in their DNA to even observe differences outwardly in people. And they're making a lot of noise right now. So I'm very, very pleased about that. Yogananda complimented America. He said it's a great nation, and the spirit in this nation is great because it was founded on religious freedom, on religious principles. And it's there, and ironically, he founded his work in Los Angeles. We immigrated to Los Angeles from sort of the quiet, tropical life, slow tropical life, into the rat race of Los Angeles. That's what it felt like to me when we lived there. When I was 10 years old, that was the first place we were for a couple of years. What a transition that was. But he talks about Los Angeles being the Benares of America, meaning the holiest city in America. And I found that bizarre when I first heard that he said that. But ever since then, every time I've gone there to visit, I try to tune into that. And I try to become like the spiritual archaeologist that I talked about a few weeks ago, to go beneath the outer expression of it, beneath it, into the spirit of it, into the vibration of it. Close your eyes. And then I could feel it. I could feel that wellspring of goodness and of light that is there. And that exists in this nation. Swami Kriyananda used to say, generosity is the spirit of this country. He said if they forgot a dog up on the moon in outer space, they'd send a rocket out to go and get it. That is our strength, and that is our spirit. And that analogy of what's going on outside and what's the real spirit within is the same truth that the great mystics, the great avatars come to tell us about. We're not this form, we're not this personality, we are that spirit within. And we carry with us that portable paradise. So it does us no good, as Yogananda used to say, to beat at the darkness with a stick. We want to turn on the light. And that light starts within us and shines from there. In fact, everything in life is really a reflection of what's going on inside of us. We're not this outer form. It dies, it disappears. We are spirit. We come in naked, we go out naked. We go out without a body. We are spirit. And it's that spirit we want to tune into, and that spirit we want to surround in light. And so we want to, spend time with good people. We want to seek out uplifted company. We want to read uplifted things. Absolutely, we need to stay current on what's happening around us. And there's times we're going to need to do battle. We are needing to do battle. But we want to be more imbued in the light so that we can be calm and be present and be able to share that light. And that's our higher dharma, that's our higher duty. It's Theseus in the ancient Greek mythology was asked to go into the labyrinth, and it was so complex that nobody could find their way out of it. But Theseus went into that labyrinth with a spool of twine, and he unwound it as he went through the labyrinth, and therefore by following the twine he was able to find his way back out. And that's what the avatar represents. That's what the guru represents, is that twine. They don't have to be here in the body telling us what to do every step of the way. We have to tune in and simply listen and be open and ask for that inner guidance and take the steps to strengthen our inner lives, to strengthen that divinity that is within us, or at least to, allow it to be uncovered by all of this outer turbulence and all of this outer form of our own seeming personality and being. We are unitive in our nature. The divine is unitive, never separating. The divine always brings us in towards infinity, towards expansion. And that's our spirit. And that's where we need to go. And we're given tools for that attunement. We're given meditation as a powerful tool. It will give us calmness. It will give us that sense of inner peace. And in meditation, if it's truly one-pointed concentration on God, which it is, we make that inner divine connection. And in that, all of the world all of the universe exists. So much power exists. So we have to draw on that power. And how many times do I have people tell me, I'm just too busy. I don't have time to meditate. My life is too busy. When we live in the age of energy, all our lives are busy. I tell my friends, I know people who are retired who really feel they're extremely busy. Because they are, because we live in that kind of, high energy time. So, so they think it's all or nothing, but it's not all or nothing. If you can't meditate an hour and a half a day, then try, 45 minutes, try half an hour twice a day. If you can't do half an hour twice a day, do 15 minutes twice a day. If you can't do 15 minutes twice a day, do 5 minutes twice a day. And if you can't do that, do 5 minutes once a day. Everybody can find that kind of time. But start and build a foundation where you're looking to the only true reality which resides within us, in spirit. Material forms change. God never changes. You see? And then there's perseverance, because the world lives in sound bites. The world does not like us to get still, because then we might know who and what we are. And so ego, everything sort of conspires to have us not go there. But we have to persevere. Swami Kriyananda used to tell us that Edison did 43,000 experiments before he discovered the right filament for lights, for electricity and light. 43,000, and somewhere around 20,000, all of his co-workers and friends and family tried to convince him to give it up. 20,000. And he went to 43,000 and he found it. It's that kind of perseverance that it takes to sort of blast through the miasma, the illusion that we are form, and be able to remember and live more in spirit. You know, it takes sort of rocket fuel to get us through that misunderstanding, and then it takes that perseverance. Recently, I rewatched that movie, Chariots of Fire. Do you remember that? With the British Isles had a team that they sent to the Olympics for sport, and there was one runner who was Scottish, Eric Liddell, and he was also a minister, and he used to say that when he ran, he felt so fast he felt God's pleasure. And so, you know, his running and his divine aspirations were merged. They were one, and he had tremendous energy and power and won, you know, the gold medal. But in this particular race, it wasn't at the Olympics yet, it was a national race of some sort. And he got off to a great start, and he was going along really fast. And then one of the other runners actually shoved him off the track. And he was going so fast, he was badly hurt by that incident. And he, you know, it took him a minute, he was dazed to figure out what happened. And by the time he looked up, all the rest of the runners were more than half a lap ahead of him, or 3/4 or whatever. And he got up and he started running again. And he ran so fast. He persevered so much that he won the race. It was just amazing. It wasn't just like these people who, you know, get hurt and then walk across the finish line, which is great in itself, but this guy ran and beat everyone and won that race. That's the kind of perseverance that it takes to blast through millions of incarnations when we think that we are that form, that we are that turbulence that's going on all around us. We're not any of those things. Los Angeles is not what it appears, folks. We can dive beneath the surface of that. America is not what it appears to be right now, because it's making the wrong kind of noise. There are a lot of people making the right kind of noise and trying to bring it into balance as quickly as they possibly can. But in our inner lives, it's the same. There's a lot of noise going on in our head, you know, a lot of chatter that we're trying to still so we can hear our own inner divinity. And then we take a seed and we plant it, and we water it, and then we wonder, you know, if that runner had wondered, gee, that's a half a lap, a 3/4 lap, you know, did the math to see if he could realistically make it, he wouldn't have made it. You know, if we plant that seed and we keep digging it up, exposing it to light, wondering if it's growing or not, you know, that's not how it works. We persevere by right action. We persevere by doing over and over and over and over. God knows for millions of incarnations we've done over and over and over wrong decisions and wrong things. It takes time to undo all of that. By right action, we can keep stepping forward into that. And the great mystical avatars of time, all time, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Yogananda, they come in just the right moment to remind us, to show us in the example of their lives, not who they are, but who we are, and to give us the absolute power to experience that oneness in God ourselves. Every single one of us, they promised.
Let's listen to these words from Whispers from Eternity by Paramahansa Yogananda. No more shall my consciousness remain bottled in this little vessel of flesh, corked with ignorance. No more will I remain moving through the sea of cosmic consciousness, night and day, years, decades, and how many incarnations, so close, yet never able to contact thy sea. Through the bursting vibration of cosmic sound and the surging of thy holy name, I have removed the cork of ignorance which so long separated me from thee, though we lived together so closely. Now my body consciousness will meet thy all-surrounding, all-pervading consciousness. No longer will I walk heedlessly in thee, but never knowing and feeling thee. Thine image within me shall meet thine image everywhere. By releasing the I-ness in me, I will know that I am thou, and that thou alone art the little egos of all of us.